This is just to give a brief overview of the document with the Jean Vachat suicide. And I'm going to just give you a quick tour of the whole dossier and then the parts that we're going to read in class. So from 1545, it starts out, this is La Relation des Barbiers. So this would be the surgeons who visited the body and give a report on it. I think this is a little difficult, so I think we'll probably skip this part for reading together. I mentioned that this guy Galif had taken some of the pieces and then ultimately his estate returned them in 1915. So this is a piece from Galif. I think we'll, it doesn't even start at the beginning. Then we get to the witness testimony. I think this is a good one to read in class. It's pretty clear. So I'll just go through the opening of it. Information prise with an N, so prince, sur, R at the end, la mort, different R right there, et trépas, T-R-E-S, P-A-S, trépas de Messire, so not Monsieur, but Messire, I-R-E at the end. Jean, J-O-H-A-N, Vachat, prince, prise, le 23e de janvier 1545, trépassé, with an S at the end, strangely, le 22 du 10 mois de janvier, en, looks like it would be A, but it's, the context tells us it has to be E-N, and I think you can see a little jambage there between the E and the final thing. So, en la maison de, and here we have an abbreviation, égrège. So we have E, G, and then the abbreviation. So égrège, usually a term for notaire. Pierre Vachat, son frère, again abbreviated, F-R-E with a flourish, avec, so that's A-V-E-C-Q, les personnes, so we've got our standard P-E-R, sous, S-O-U-B-Z, very, very common spelling, nommé, N-O-M-E-E-S, but with the flourish for the second M. And I'll just do one more line, maybe. Actually, I'll do 3 lines. Get a couple of vocab terms there, it looks like. So, premièrement, égrège. So here we, confirmation, our reading of the abbreviation is right. Pierre. So two R's, a little different than the R in égrège, or the first R in premièrement. So you have 3 different R's there. Premièrement, égrège Pierre Vachat, lequel après, avoir, so another R there, jurait, S-main, so E-S. If you don't know what that means, time to go to the dictionary, common 16th century word. S-main de Monsieur, so M-O-N-S with the flourish, similar to the for the flourish we see for the pour. Monsieur le lieutenant, so L-I-E-U-T-E-N with a flourish. De dire, so 2 words, right? D-E space D-I-R-E, la vérité. Dépose, so c'est la déposition, D-E-P-O-U-S-E. Être vrai que le dit trépassé son frère a été en maladie depuis, D-E-S-P-U-Y-S, depuis La Saint-Michel. So S-A, so notice the A is rather indistinct. And then just a bunch of humps. But, you know, it's La and Michel. So it's got to be a date. It's La Saint-Michel. S-A-I-N-C-T. And Michel, as is very, very common, has an extra I. So it's M-I-C-H-I-E-L. And then we have en, E-N, sa, S-C-A. Similar to the way it's written for savoir. So en sa gisant. And we'll just stop there on that part. And if you don't know, this one might send you to your dictionaries as well, hopefully. And we got a couple pages of that. All fairly clear. And Pierre Vachat and Jean Vachat, by the way, are both former priests of Geneva. And then we get, the one became a notary, apparently, using his writing skills, and the other one ran into trouble. And this is Calvin's deposition. Calvin races to the scene to console him in his dying minutes. It's a little hard to read. The color version I find hard to read, so I did a little Photoshop work to make it black and white, which I've uploaded to you, to the Slack channel. So notice Calvin's writing is much more angular. Like if we look down here at a Y, it just comes to an exact point down there. Here, you know, we have an H. It's got the really exact point. Another H here that, you know, again just comes to that exact point. It's a much more angular script. It kind of looks like an old man's script, but it's 1545, which means Calvin is only 36 years old. Anyway, so here, excuse me, s'ensuit, so S''ENSUIT, la. And notice his A really looks like a sideways Z or something. La déposition que moi souscris, so that I, the person signed below, which you'll see is Calvin, atteste être, and here we have the R that looks just kind of like a hump. Être vrai, and then a third, and then another kind of R that just looks sort of like a backward Z. Être vrai. Devant, so his D, again, it's a very, very different than the D up here. I don't know if we can see another one. Anyway, very odd, very partial D. Devant, so D-E-V-A-T with the flourish for the nasal. Le Seigneur, and again another sort of somewhat different form of R, similar to the one in vrai, but looks more like almost like a 2 than a Z. Pierre, so 2 more R's. It look like just little sharp points. Dorsière, so Pierre Dorsière is a kind of a well-known figure from one of the most important figures of the period. Commis par Monsieur le Lieutenant. So, in other words, he is the lieutenant has asked Pierre Dorsière, who probably occupies the position of auditeur at the time, which would be one of the people who might hear testimony. De Genève, so G-E-N-E-S-V-E, very common to add the S in Genève, more common than not, it's almost the rule. And then le 23e jour, so J, it's what we would call an I, but we would transcribe J, O-U-R, 23e jour de janvier 1545. C'est que hier, and again we've got that pointy R and H and a sort of yet another form of the R. It looks much like the one up in Seigneur, but changed a bit, a little rounder at the bottom. Environ, entre, so E-N-T-R-E. You know, and again, the E looks not so different from, say, the D in Dorsière. You just have to know from context. Huit, H-U-I-C-T, et neuf, sous-entendu heure. So, c'est que hier, environ entre 8 et 9, Pierre Vachat, so the brother, vint, me, and this is that partial D. Where did we see this before? Me dire. So similar to the D in de, janvier. I think we saw a better example somewhere else already that I commented on. Vint me dire en pleurant, so P-L-E-U-R-A-T with the flourish, qu'il y et toi, and we'll just stop there. So that should get you started.